Welcome, Anderson.
Raja, very good to be here.
It's a pleasure hosting you.
Thank
I
you.
know, I know most people, they would be dreaming to have a session with Anderson.
Oh, come
And
on.
no, I'm not exaggerating, right? You are such a reputed personality back in Brazil, and this podcast is going to spread the news across the world.
It's very nice to be here with you guys. As you know, we've been doing uh, a good job of podcast in Brazil. We've been for the last 4 years working in a podcast, technology podcast. Today is the top 5 podcasts in Brazil on technology, and we are in the 1% most shared in the world on Spotify, and that's crazy. It's very for us. It's amazing, and we've been started to be kind of influencers in technology. People spot us, ask to take some pictures, and that's crazy. But it's very good to be that opportunity to share about technology. Yeah, and of course, in the last 10 years, we've been working exclusively on ManageEngine solutions. And every time we talk about technology, it's impossible to don't bring up ManageEngine. And that's has been a great opportunity to make marketing, make branding, and of course show to the our Brazil all solutions you guys have, and that's that's very grateful.
Great. So, uh, before we begin, I would
Yeah.
like to listen a little about you because maybe personally we knew each other,
Yeah.
but when the entire world is listening to us, I thought a little introduction about your background. How did you get this passion, of making podcasts, and how about becoming a technical influencer? I would love
Yes.
the world to know
Well,
more about it directly from you.
well, I've been in technology for all my life. I'm actually, people don't know that actually because I'm so much in communication, but I'm actually an engineer. back in the days, I used to code myself, and I worked as developer for much years. And since I started to work with ACSoftware in Brazil, we've been together for the last 12 years. So I started to sell software, not code, but sell. Here's the thing: I love to talk to the customer, to understand their challenges and everything. And back in that time, I used to code the solution, but it's impossible to reach so much customers, and that you be I felt like limited. And when I started to work with a software, I started to sell it. So I just understand what the customer needs and just show the solutions, help to implement that. And that was so grateful for me because in a year, I was able to help so much people. And when I coding is so less. And then I started to be very excited about the sales world. And since I was a boy, I always was very connected to design, to communication, and everything like that. So I actually studied marketing and development. So I have that two branch on my back. And in AC software, I've been developing marketing in sales and working for the last 10 years with only managing solutions. And we built something. We really built something. Today I'm a director in the company. I also have a share in a new business unit. That's very exciting for me. Um it's a it's a new business unit based on MSP.
Mhm.
So we are also working in MSP in Brazil, and that's very cool. I having fun with my work. I love what I do. So we have that very special approach in marketing. We built that podcast that's huge success in Brazil, but we also have uh, a strong presence in social media. We have cartoons. We have blog. We have news on YouTube. I'm actually the anchor for cybersecurity news on YouTube. It's called AC News. Sorry, guys, it's only in Portuguese. Not that sorry because you can see my English is not that great, but it's I having fun and working a lot, a lot. We've been working so much with our customers and took so many experience in the last years. It's very nice.
Oh, it's wonderful to listen to this, right? I mean, it's a little curious for me to imagine somebody who started with development, writing your own code,
Yeah,
then thinking about marketing it, brand building, and now sales. So, Anderson into various sectors.
yeah,
So, which out of these do you like the most? I know right now you are a man of everything,
yeah.
everywhere, but which out of these fascinates you the most?
Uh, Actually, for me, they are the same, and that's the crazy thing. I love to write. That's my thing. I love to write. So when I coding, I'm writing. When I building a podcast, I'm writing. When I create some marketing campaign, it's
Mhm.
about writing again. And on cartoons, it's about writing. So I been uh, take care of that power and grab with how I have that power on writing and just translating that writing in so many channels and possibilities in language, and that's it. It's all about writing. That's my passion.
Great, great. Good to hear from you. So, before we get into more insights on the Brazilian market and the business that you do, one last question about yourself.
Okay.
I mean, it's always curious to see people, who have multiple hats to wear, like, various skills. So, with that being said, what was Anderson's dream as a school-going kid, and how did transform and evolve all the way? How did you find yourself as a man of passion into all these streams?
That's very nice question. I always dreamed about to be a designer to communicate with people through images and things. I always dreamed about that. And every time as a kid, I always been in love with drawing, drawings for everywhere. So uh, I started to do some marketing myself and do some just as a kid, and that's it. I'm not sure. I I just grow up loving art,
Oh,
and I believe it is that is about. So people used to say that I'm very creative person, and creativity for me is like a translation. Every time you do something the way everyone do, there's no creativity on that. You just follow follow the line. And for me, it's never enough to do in the same way people do. If I need to do something, I'm gonna do in a different way. And to build creativity as uh, as I need. Not only people think about creativity like something it's follow from the skies and you have some illumination. But from time to time on my work, I need to be creative on time. It's scheduled. And how to do that for me is always translation. So I grab some ideas from a cartoon and bring for my work. I bring some ideas from a movie that I like it and bring to my work. I grab some inspiration from the world, the nature, and bring for my work. So for me, it's all about that art and translation. So if you develop uh, an artist's eye, you start to look for everything, looking for his own beauty, and from time to time you have the opportunity to grab that beauty and apply in another place totally different, and then you just bring some new to life. For me, that's the creativity key.
Okay. So very interesting. I'm sure there is a lot that people can get, inspired listening to the story. So, Anderson, getting into the Brazil market,
Yeah.
right? ACS software and ManageEngine. I would love to hear about how this partnership started, or maybe like your role with ACS and ManageEngine, and a little more about your experience for the partner conference this year.
Okay. So we've been helping a lot of companies in Brazil in the last decade through the managing solutions. I'm very passionate about that, and it's been an honor to be here on the partner meeting. It's my second partner meeting. I've been here last year, and it's very nice to be here again. And saw how much you guys grow. It's amazing what's happening on Zoho, on ManageEngine. It's amazing to see what's happening on India. Even Chennai is changing so fast. You guys are building a new road right here. So that's very exciting. And every time people in Brazil ask me about how is India and everything. I love to talk about all the construction, all the changes, guys, you are doing, and the greatest change is in your minds. You people are changing everything. You guys are not. For you guys, it's never enough. You want to reach the top in everything you guys do, and that's so beautiful. That will be so much. I get so much inspiration for you guys. So uh, that's it. That's amazing.
Okay. Thank you so much. And none of these would have happened without partners like you, right?
Thank you.
So it's a kind of combined effort. Great. Now, let's talk about the cybersecurity best practices, or the endpoint security, predominantly the endpoint security market in Brazil.
Well, the endpoint security market is growing fast. Of course, the UAM opportunity after the pandemic was like explosion. It grows very fast. Uh, People from Brazil and I believe from everywhere started to face new challenges since people was not in the office anymore. In Brazil, people from so much companies wasn't ready to that. We have some customers that they didn't have notebooks, laptops to deliver to all employees. So they started to grab the desktops from the
Migrants.
from their offices and sent to their homes. Even the chairs they send to some customers send the chairs to their homes because the employee doesn't have that infrastructure
Infrastructure. Yeah.
in their house, and they start doing that crazy thing, and with that come a big tsunami of cybersecurity risk. They how they gonna manage all of that, and we gladly present that amazing solution, Endpoint Central, to do the job. So they was able to manage how that's a hybrid situation with the servers on the site and employee at home and everything, and also manage the security situation very well and with some power to understand what's happening on the endpoint. And for me, Endpoint Central is all about power. It's like a machine gun. Huh? You can just do so much more, so faster with so much information. And cybersecurity is is something about maturity too, because you never start on the must must complex solution. Starting on the most single and simple solution, then you start to have some maturity and you start to sound your security needs and start to build a cybersecurity infrastructure. And without Endpoint Central, that's very hard to do. Very hard to do.
I mean, it's pretty interesting to listen to the stories when you mentioned it's a tsunami of cyber attacks.
Yeah.
That is perfect. You nailed it. I mean, like, not just in Brazil, when we talk to partners across the globe, we get to hear the same story, right? So, cyber attacks, and especially hybrid work,
Yeah.
that is something which actually adds a lot, right? So, before the pandemic, we really had the luxury where every endpoint, every data residing on an endpoint was shielded in a corporate perimeter.
Yeah.
We spoke about protecting the firewall, and every data within the business was different. Now the game is entirely different, right? So when every data moves out of the business, it adds a lot of complexity. And as you did mention, we need effective tools, powerful tools. I'm glad that you liked Endpoint Central to be one among those, right?
Yeah.
As a powerful tool to secure the network. So, Anderson, is there any interesting use case that you would love to share for the world?
We have a lot of use case for Endpoint Central in so much levels, not only in cybersecurity. Have some Endpoint Central has that, as I said, that power you can creatively use on your environment to reach so much results. And we have uh, a big university in Brazil that use Endpoint Central to control all their endpoints, and they have that ROI, results, that return of investment, so fast, just using the Endpoint Central to make sure every endpoint is on the out of day, they gonna shut down. And with energy consumption economy, they just paid for the tool. That that that's great. That's amazing, and we have so much uh, other cases like that. We have in Brazil a big hospital chain They are growing so fast. They just buy another hospital and another hospital and another hospital. They are growing fast, man. They have about, I'm not sure right now, but it's something about 20,000 endpoints, something like that. And they, how they can manage that? How can they manage security? How can they just bring another company for inside and inside their network without endpoint central? That's going to be impossible. So with endpoint central, they just will add a new hospital, and they can apply the security policies and everything, and they make sure about all the endpoints and our software they have there, our inventory they have, and they in like in hours they have all control of that. And when we say that in hours they can do that in one day, that's very, very, very great to see. Um, they have a challenge last year. They was 1 week about to renew the antivirus. It was before the next gen antivirus from Endpoint Central, but it was before it, and they was 1 week before, and they needed to change on all 20,000 endpoints, all antivirus, because they don't want to keep the same.
Oh,
They
okay,
want to
okay,
change it,
right.
and in 1 week, how they can manage that without Endpoint Central. And with Endpoint Central, come on, man, in a day, they just took every old antivirus and applied a new one, and that was very, very nice, very powerful to do. They they taste some liberty to choose what they want. They wasn't with in a situation that, oh, we're gonna need to keep it because we don't have time to change. No, they just managed to change every endpoint and keep the security on every perimeter and keep the surface under control, and that's very nice.
Great, great. Very nice to hear to this. In fact, I could recollect another story, which I feel it just resonates or it just relates to the same context. I don't want to mention the name of the organization due to
Okay,
privacy, concerns. We respect every customer's
sure.
privacy. So there was one such critical healthcare infrastructure. Unfortunately, they were not using Endpoint Central, and they fell a prey for one of the cyber attack. I was like super shocked to hear it because we knew that they use some other products from ManageEngine, but they weren't using Endpoint Central at that point of time. And then later, the IT manager felt they'll have to onboard Endpoint Central immediately, right? So after the attack, they were not like breached completely, but they realized that there was some attack that took place, and they had to like clean up every machine, put it back into work, and everything had to happen in a real quick time.
Very good.
So that was when they sought us for help, and we were glad that we were able to onboard, a few thousands of them immediately. The story never ended there for a twist in the end. Like after we put our endpoint central on all the endpoints, all the machines, you know what actually happened? Our antivirus, yeah, our next gen
Okay.
antivirus, was able to detect that there were few traces. There were few traces of the malware which was there disguised in many
Yeah.
more installations. And it came as a surprise for them, and they were glad that we were able to detect it for them,
Yeah.
right? So we ended up like encrypting the data. We ended up like getting a backup, and then pushing a new OS, setting it back with the base configurations, cleaning it up completely, and that is one wonderful use case that I could actually relate with the story that you spoke about.
Yes, that's very nice to hear because we had some stores like that in Brazil last year. Some customers was they made some POC. As you know, uh, every buying on technology uh, takes some time. You need to do a POC, you need to build up or write down a project, you need some managers to approve it. It took some time. And from time to time, we were here, okay, we love it, you need it, but we don't have actually the budget right now. So next year, we will be able to buy it. Well, for us, oh, that's okay. So next year we can talk
Sure.
about it. So a few months after that, they call us like crazy, desperate. We need endpoint center right now. We need help right now, and we managed to help. Like I can tell by heart. I remember three cases like that on the last year. So I'm talking about enterprise people with a lot of endpoints, and was very nice to manage to help. And the next gen antivirus is something so special because it's about the the virus behavior. It's not about updated signatories, by far beyond that.
Correct.
So that's a it's very intelligent way to keep your environment secure. We are very excited with that new product, and we know that's gonna be uh, game changing in the market.
Thank you very much, Anderson. I know our next gen antivirus is something that we have been investing a lot of time, a lot of effort, and of course, it goes with deep learning, right? And we
Yeah.
also have our AI detection technologies. So we put a lot of hard work, and of course, that's not the end of the road. We still keep listening to partners
Yeah.
like you, we listen to customers, and that's how we keep growing our product.
I used to say a customer asked me what's the difference between the next gen antivirus and what they are using at the time. And I say, look, man, it's like you have a sign on your door and you have a dog
Oh,
on your backyard.
right.
A sign is just okay if you are not allowed to pass, and that's it. But when you have intelligence and you have a dog right there looking all the time and checking for strange behaviors and everything is different.
I know why you are a marketer now. You know, that's a brilliant analogy. That's a brilliant analogy. Trust
Yeah.
me. You're good at storytelling, Anderson. That's very good.
No, thank you, man. We've been talking with a lot of big enterprise companies in Brazil. We have that so nice opportunity to have they as so many times as a friends, to have them on our podcast talking about their jobs, their vision. I'm being so blessed to hear so many experience, to get to know from the inside so many big companies and understand the challenges, and for so many times help them. So that's a privilege. I know that, and I try to share with everyone through the podcast, through every talking. I always try to share something interesting. I always try to give some lighting because I receive that all the time. So I need to share. That's it.
Very true. See, it's not about language. In the beginning of this conversation, you did mention about your English.
Yeah,
But to be honest, English is just a language. But the knowledge is immense, right?
yeah.
So people across the globe will get a lot of insights from all the wonderful stories that you have shared right now. And it means a lot for someone who's looking out for IT.
Thank you so much, man. It's a great pleasure to share with all the world. And I'm actually at your disposition, and everybody who wants to talk about anything or share experience with us, we're gonna be very, very cool to share some stories and experience with everybody who wants it.
The pleasure is ours, Anderson. It was so nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man.